Ivanka Trump was harassed by a man on the same JetBlue flight that they were booked on. Now, Ivanka Trump was with her husband and also with her children traveling in New York City. And at that point, a man allegedly came up to her and started harassing her. Now, the person who kind of outed the harassment in the beginning was this unidentified man's partner who tweeted about it. So let's take a quick look at graphic 4. He had tweeted and then deleted, Ivanka and Jared at JFK Terminal 5, flying commercial. My husband chasing them down to harass them. He then later also tweeted and deleted, Ivanka and Jared on our flight. My husband expressed displeasure in a calm tone. JetBlue staff overheard and they kicked us off the plane. Now, he allegedly said the following, the man who went after Ivanka and her husband, your father is ruining the country. Why is she on our flight? She should be flying private. Everybody needs to calm down and not get into one another's faces about anything, about politics. If you disagree with someone, don't harass them, don't bother them. You know, she's there with her kids, she's there with her family. If you disagree with the politics, I hear you. Be politically active in a more productive way. Harassing her on a flight isn't going to help.
I have a tiny bit of mixed feelings about this.
I don't.
Okay, so let's lay it out. I didn't know they had the kid with them. They don't do that if there's kids around. Okay. Second of all, how you do it, I think, is monumentally important. So I'll give you an example, and we talked about this in the past in old school. Dave and I were on a flight. Dave Kohler's one of the founders of TYT, and he saw a Bush administration official, and he said to him, as he was walking by him in the plane, the Bush guy was in first class, we were in coach, of course. And he's like, you're full of shit. Then moved on. Okay, and he said, I think he also said something about how his administration did great harm or something, right? And so this is a Dave Kohler line, and I might have been like, yeah, me too. Now, it's super important to be calm. Don't yell at people, especially on a plane. Yeah, you'll get kicked off. And it's too personal. It's too aggressive. What if it breaks into violence? You don't want anything like that. Not at all, okay? Second of all, move on, right? You want to make a point. You see somebody in an airport. Sometimes people come up to me and say great things, bless their hearts. And sometimes they say, some other guy was like, I was walking in New York, and some guy's like, hey, young Turk, suck it, Donald won, ah. Okay, I don't give a shit.
That's hilarious, actually.
It's kind of funny, right? So don't stick around and create a confrontation. You know, but the problem is, Anna, you're right, that nobody knows where the goddamn line is.
Things have definitely gone way too far. So, look, I don't agree with Donald Trump's politics. I think I've been pretty clear about that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you disagree with someone's politics. You don't confront them in a seemingly violent way. And look, his partner denies that it was violent.
But no one is charging anything physically.
No. There was no physical harm whatsoever. There wasn't even an attempt to touch her or anything like that. It was all spoken word. That's it. But nonetheless, it's still a weird, hostile situation. She's, again, on a plane, kind of a captive audience with her family. And you don't want to create a situation where people just don't want to be out in public because they're going to be paranoid constantly. And I'm saying that from personal experience, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't sit here and be angry about certain things that we experienced this year when, someone has a different political opinion and is also experiencing it. She deserves the same type of protection that anyone else does.
Yeah. So the reason he did hashtag banality of evil is because, it's a reference to the Germans, and don't let them normalize the terrible things that they're doing. But look, I'm not in the camp of, give Donald a chance because you don't know what he's going to do yet. No, but we know who his cabinet is. We already know that he's trying to enrich himself through the meetings with foreign leaders. It's not like there's no evidence. At the same time, he hasn't invaded anybody yet. He hasn't done a drone strike on anybody yet.
And he's not the same person as Ivanka Trump. He's not, right? Like, yeah. We actually don't know enough about what Ivanka Trump thinks of her father and some of his rhetoric and what he plans on doing, or his cabinet. Ivanka Trump seems to be a little more liberal than Donald Trump is.
Yeah, I mean, and Kushner's there too, her husband, of course. So No, they're probably among those basket of deplorables, the best of the lot, right? So I don't want them to lose their power because then the guys that are going to take their place are even worse. But like in our example, with the Bush administration guys, they had launched a war. Hundreds of thousands of people had died. A lot of our troops had died. They'd already done untold damage. I think I'm allowed to say in passing, you're full of shit. And you did great harm to this country, right? So I hope you can find where the line is, but like you say, Anna, I'm worried that a lot of people don't know where that line is at all. And then next thing you know, you're going to get kicked off a flight. And by the way, their worst critique was, why is she on a public airplane? That's a good thing, isn't it? That she's not flying private. And
it didn't even look like she was sitting in first class, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, I think those are wider seats. Are you kidding me? Yeah, like coach is so narrow now that those seats seem like lavish by comparison. No? You think that's regular? That's
it looks because all the seats behind them look exactly the same. That's why it looks like she's in a regular.
She's in the middle in a coach flight. You got to give her credit for that.
Yeah, I actually do give her credit for that.
Okay.
You go get
By
it.
the way, we have a JetBlue expert. Edwin, our stage manager, also works at JetBlue. So
regular
seat.
It's been confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait till they actually do something before you yell at them a little bit and move on. That's my policy. Anna says, don't do it because you never know what it's going to lead to, and it's generally a bad idea. Fair enough. Once you become a member of the Young Turks, you're going to be thinking, Sarabies! TYTnetwork.com/join.